From Wall Street to Main Street, this is Lalate.
It's a big evening of Evenings LA with incredible great news about your fourth stimulus check update of 2021, direct from Santa Monica, California. In this recording, we go over the incredible great news as a $3.5 trillion recon has passed, and that means that you would get upwards of $15,000 from this incredible recon. That has three clusters of checks pass, hazard pay in the first cluster, and then in the second one, home repairs, in the third one, money for seniors. Then those add-ons of $25,000 for new home buyers, $250 billion for people who are seniors, and then those MSC checks. We have all incredible details in tonight's recording, but we aren't done there yet. Oh no, we aren't, as we have the Congress back in town. Yes, the wonderful, illustrious legislators are back in town, and in tonight's recording, we go over what they're doing across the board. We have a potential deal with the recon and Joe Manchin. I'll go over the first detail of a deal and then the two backup plans, clean energy versus carbon tax. Then we have a debt ceiling limit being forgiven, but now student loan debt being forgiven as well. This is huge, and this is absolutely incredible. Guess what? We got money for COLA. And that COLA raise is coming, but it is only the first raise. There's going to be two other raises thereafter. I'll explain the latest details across the board. We got a big night as big money from third stimulus is coming, and that big money from third stimulus is absolutely deliciousness. As one viewer got $36,000, you can go into the weekend with this big money as well. We're going to be getting back to fifth stimulus, which has the incredible raise of your benefits up if you're on SSI, SSDI, and Social Security and railroad benefits. We got a big night with a potential deal in the works as the recon is getting removed down to from 3.5 to 2 trillion. It's a big, bold, beautiful night. Let's go in for the lift, pump, and spike. This is a big Evenings LA, and it starts right here, right now, as Evenings LA gets underway direct from Santa Monica, California. And a night in which there is so much happening, and the excitement is upon us. The excitement is right here. It is right now, and it starts sometime right about, who knows when. Maybe it starts about now. There we go. Hey, good evening, everybody. I hope you're having a beautiful evening across the land. The weather has been beautiful here in Santa Monica, California, and I'm glad you're joining me across the sea today. In tonight's recording, we go over the incredible great news about that $3.5 trillion recon pass. And we got three clusters of checks in there. Boy, these are deliciousness. We got cluster number 1, 2, and 3, and we got all the details in tonight's recording. Cluster number 1 pass, which has elder care. 2 passed, which has home repairs, and cluster number 3 pass, which has money for seniors. Then we got those add-ons of $25,000, $250 billion, and then the add-on of those monthly stimulus checks. But we ain't done there yet. No siree. As now a potential deal is in the works with who else but Joe Manchin. The incredible detail of that deal will be unearthed in today's video. Then there's several backup plans that have now been placed, and one of them is clean energy versus carbon tax, student loan debt forgiveness, more debt being forgiven. And then we have the big exciting details of COLA raising your benefits up, but that is only the first raise, because guess what? We got more money after that, 2 more raises. We got the big money from third stimulus coming out. We have the big money across the board that you can get this week, and I'll show you all those incredible details and more as the sun is setting here on the West Coast. Hope the weather has been good where you are, and this is Evenings LA. So subscribe. 400,000 subscribers, a YouTube record. There's no one that's going to have more footage of the beach 2 minutes of a video that I will. Boy, how did I get through all that? Like this video and become a member. Coming up later today is Evening's Countdown, our new hit show right after this video. Stay with me. And then right after Evening's Countdown tonight is a big stream stimulus. It's almost 45 minutes in length. Then we got shows at 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, and 10, 11, all the way to the new day with 3 and 3:30. Let's cut to the incredible great news of this recon. It's $3.5 trillion. It has 3 clusters of checks pass, and it pays viewers of this channel about $15,000. Absolutely incredible. I'm going to show you how to get the $15,000 as soon as it becomes law. But we got 3 clusters, and then we have 3 add-ons on top of that. So let's go over all this incredibleness. And remember, the recon is for everyone, for single individuals, married couple, people, seniors, people who are young people, all across the board, red states, blue states, and it pays viewers of this channel about $15,000. Let's turn to the incredible details of this recon, starting with the first cluster, hazard pay, and $4,000 of elder care. Hazard pay got in there by broadening the eligibility and increasing the amount of payment for that EIC. Well, that earned income tax credit will be paying my essential workers more money. And then they got $4,000 of elder care in there. $4,000 for young children as well. They got money for college students with the Pell Grant made tax-free, and also grants the university and the student themselves. They got home repairs in there, totally free. Did I wake you up on that one? Yeah, that always wakes people up. Totally free home repairs if you're in a low-income community. Wonderful news. I'll show you how to get this as soon as it becomes law. Then they got big money in there of $51,000 a monthly stimulus checks. The CTC broadened the eligibility of the child tax credit and increased the amount of money. This is $300 a month approximately every month for 18 years, which is $51,000. Then they got money for bikes, cars, and trucks, all electric, all U.S. auto manufactured. 15% for the purchase of a new electric bike, $7,500 for the purchase of a new electric car, personal use, a little bit more if it's for business use or a truck. There you go. That is the first of 3 clusters of checks passed in this recon. But there's also 3 proposed add-ons, and we're going to go over the first add-on right now. That first add-on is incredible, and it is $25,000. That's being proposed to be added on that. There we go, $25,000. Yeah, it'd be nice to send me, $250 billion to my wallet. No, $25,000 to your wallet for the purchase price of a new home. This is for first home buyers, and it's an add-on proposed by the Senate by the wonderful Representative Maxine Waters. First-time home buyers would get this $25,000 cash infusion. It would likely go to you during the escrow period when you're about to close on the house. Federal government give the money to the seller, $25,000 in your name. Incredible. That is the first of 3 add-ons, but now let's turn to the second cluster, checks pass, and here we go. Home repairs and paid leave. Wow. It's important to remember when you're looking at this recon that all this money is for life in general. It's called the Build Back America plan, and it's nothing to do with COVID. It's just life in general. They got more money for home repairs, and they got paid family leave. Well, how much is this? A lot. $1,700 a week if you make $80,000 or more per year. $800 a week if you make $30,000 or more per year, and $400 a week if you make $15,000 a year. Paid family leave. You have to stay home because your wife is pregnant. Paid medical leave. You have to stay home because your son broke his leg. They got child care checks. They got household tax credit checks. They got checks for seniors. More about that in the third cluster. They got pre-kindergarten and tuition-free community college. Wow. And then they got some more checks for your home, and these home repairs are for weatherizing your home. Weatherizing your home. So this is for every home across the country. Definitely need to weatherize your home, especially if the moderate Democrats are on the roof. As I always say, weatherize your home to keep the moderate Democrats out of the House, and wherever possible, keep the moderate Democrats out of the Senate. There we go. That is the second of 3 clusters of checks pass. That'll pay you about $15,000. Let's turn to the second add-on that's being proposed by the wonderful 61-year-old Democratic senator from Pennsylvania. His name is Bob Casey, and it is $250 billion has been proposed to be added on there. And who is this for? My seniors and also my people on disability. Wow. How does this work? It's the home health care, generally. What does Casey see as an issue? People who are seniors, people with disability that cannot afford home health care. You can't afford it. And so you have your son or daughter, family member, stay home from work and no longer work to take care of you. He's going to solve 2 problems with the equation. First, he's going to give big money to the cities and counties and states so they can offer you free home health care from a licensed professional. And number 2, your son and daughter won't have to do it for you. Now they can go work, and it would fix the labor shortage in the country. There we go. That is the second add-on. Let's go to the third cluster. Checks passed. Money for seniors and money for workers. Wow. This third cluster of checks has 2 keywords in it. Listen to the keywords. They are clean energy. And I also got a world exclusive for you in this cluster as well. They got checks in this third cluster for free school meals for all checks, tax break checks, cheaper prescription medication checks, checks for farmers, checks for free internet, clean energy. There we are. Then they got checks for workers like independent contractors, checks for seniors like dental, vision, and hearing care checks. Wow. Which brings us then to our big exclusive, again from Bob Casey. Bob Casey, the senator, 61-year-old from Democrat from Pennsylvania. I have heard he wants to drop the Medicare eligibility age from 65 to 60. Wow, great news there. And then the cheaper, the free internet, totally free. Totally free. All you have to do is reach out to your city, county, and state. Say, what's the username? Oh, the username is sirloin at all 8. And the password is, don't miss it. There you go. That is the incredible third cluster. Now, we're going to cut back over to that clean energy words in just a second. But here is the third add-on to that recon, and I think you know what that third add-on is. We've done the first one with Maxine Waters, the second one with Bob Casey. Here comes the third one, and it comes from your Chuck Schumer. Chuck Schumer, the majority leader in the Senate, says he will be adding in a monthly stimulus check. He tells viewers of his channel repeatedly. He told Debbie Applegate 2 weeks ago on a Friday. He told another viewer last Friday, and told Donnie's wife the week before. There is several ways that you can get this MSC in there. We're going to go over the great details of that, but I literally have 3 different great updates about MSCs tonight. First, how to add it. Second, the clean energy twist. And then third, that letter from the chief of staff. All right, first, let's go over how they add this. You're looking at this recon, $3.5 trillion, passed in a subcommittee of the House. Well, they can add more legislation in there. They can add Maxine Waters, Bob Casey's, or the MSC, the 3 add-ons. Where? 3 different choices, 2 in the House first, and then finally 1 in the Senate. First, they can add it to the subcommittee's package. Remember, we're not at a bill yet. We're still in the subcommittee below the House. Then, when they have a House bill, maybe it's still not in there. They can add it to the House bill after we have a House bill, but before we have a House vote. And finally, we can do it on the very last step, which is called the 2-day vote-a-rama. The vote-a-rama, it's just, it's a lot of disco songs and a lot of bell-bottom jeans and a lot of psychedelic shirts that sort of make you dizzy. Sort of like listening to Mitch McConnell filibuster. Yeah, you know how Mitch is so good at the filibuster? He's been making people confused since Woodstock. There you go. No, the Votorama is a 2-day event at the very end of the process. And the 2-day Votorama has one of the tackiest names of legislative history. I don't know who came up with it, but they really need to put down what they were smoking when they came up with that term. The 2-day Votorama is a 2-day event where the legislators get together and make changes to whatever the House had in there. They can add stuff in there, subtract things out of there. Who is in charge of the Votorama? Chuck Schumer. Who determines what's called for a vote? Chuck Schumer. Everything that's called for a vote is called an amendment. Who determines what amendments are called? Chuck Schumer. Who wants to put in an amendment to provide a monthly stimulus check? So says Chuck Schumer's office. Chuck Schumer. Who's in charge of what you wear and how you dance at the Votorama? Mitch McConnell, unfortunately. So, yeah, if you're not ready to dance at the Votorama, then, there's always the cotillion. There's always Studio 54 for the after-hour party. So there you go. That is the Votorama. The second great news we have for this MSCs, the monthly stimulus checks, is clean energy. Yeah. So in that third cluster, we talked about clean energy. Well, you're going to see in a second that one of the big checks in that section of clean energy in the third cluster passed. Joe Manchin wants out. And the president's is reportedly taking it out. He's reportedly has taken it out, the president. Meaning that the provision is out, but the money is not. So guess where that money goes? To the purple power energy. Yes, we've been seeing this before on this channel when the Senate parliamentarian said the provision that allocated big sums of money to judiciary can't be in there. So they had to take out the provision. They didn't take out the money. The money went over to us. Great news. And then we have the biggest great news of the day, which came out on Friday. And it's the incredible message from a chief of staff to the #1 senator in this recon process. Sent this incredible message, which is big for you and big for me. It's just very important. If you haven't advocated today, make sure you do. They now have in total, the chief of staff reports to a viewer of this channel, they now have in total, between congressional senatorial offices, received more contacts of advocacy from the purple power than from the number of signatures on the American petition. Wow. Everyone's amazed by the outpouring of touching stories from Lalate. Now they have a better understanding of how the average Americans are trying to make it through the pandemic because of Lalate's advocacy. They have heartbreaking stories from Lalate's viewers, and they have the voice of the people across the nation in Lalate that has become too loud to be ignored. Wow, that is really kind. And then the last sentence in this message is directed to me and to you. Let's read that message together on air. Please continue your encouragement, Lalate, for the continued advocacy as you are the professional voice of the people, Lalate, you have become until this becomes law. Wow. Basically saying, let's push until we're over the finish line. And guess what? We have a lot in front of us in the second half of this video. We have not one backup plan, but now 2 backup plans for Joe Manchin. We're going to explore these 2 backup plans, which are totally new. They were not even covered on the afternoon's LA show right before this. This is brand new. And then also brand new tonight, perhaps at the time that this video airs, there will be a secret meeting. I'll go over who that secret meeting is and concerns your recon. We'll be going over how they get this recon from here to there and why there's one battleground place and that battleground place may be resolved. Then we'll be cutting back over to student loan debt forgiveness, the COLA raise, as you'll get 2 more raises after that. We got third stimulus, and then we have my personal message at the end about where I think the whole situation is going. With Congress back in town, and I'll be back in town and back with you in 60 seconds after this commercial break. See you after that. If you want money right now, not 5 days from now, and not 5 weeks from now, then reach out to the community page. The volunteers can help you find that money for rent and utilities. That's at news.la.com/community. The community page features a series of volunteers who are viewers like you. They can help you find rent, utilities, SNAP, food benefits, mortgage assistance, and help you with eviction moratorium questions as well. Their Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram individuals reach out to them and indicate the city and state you're from, and they'll get back to you shortly. That's a community page. Volunteers working for you, viewers helping one another. Stay with LA for more. Join Lalate Daily for the excitement of the new Lalate live daily. The excitement starts on mornings Lalate at 9 a.m. Home Lalate returns at 11 a.m. daily. And then afternoons Lalate at 1 p.m. Join us daily as the excitement continues live from Santa Monica on Lalate. And the excitement continues right now on Evenings LA, direct from Santa Monica as the rain has left us finally in Santa Monica. And we got some clear skies later in the day. In the second half of this video, we got a lot going on direct from the coast. The big exciting details are that Congress is back in town, and what does this mean for you? I have all the latest details in tonight's recording. Then we go over the big surprise as there's a potential deal in the works. Let's go over all that and more. With Congress returning, they're back, and they're back from 3 weeks. What does this mean for you? I'll explain the latest details. And then a possible deal with Joe Manchin. Those details are unearthed. Then the potential of a backup plan, not one but two, including clean energy and carbon tax. Student loan debt forgiveness, more debt being forgiven. I have the latest details, and more could be forgiven this week. And then we go to the COLA rises, as there's a lot of other rises that are coming up after that one as well. I'll have all those details and more as we go into a big evenings out of LA. We'll be cutting back over to third stimulus, which has a lot of money, and that money is still getting paid out. We'll be cutting over to fifth stimulus, and boy, we ain't done with that yet. We also have a personal message from me at the end as I give you my opinion of what they have to get done to get this recon done. And it's all coming up in a big supersized broadcast, plus the secret meeting that could be happening tonight with your recon. With that, subscribe. 400,000 subscribers on YouTube, record for a reason. There's a lot in this video tonight. There's a lot of breaking news. Like this video and consider becoming a member. Meantime, stay with this channel and stay with this video. It'll automatically take you to evening's countdown at 6 o'clock, following right after the show. And then Stream Stimulus tonight will be nearly 45 minutes in length. Then we got shows at 8, 9, 10, 11:30, all tonight, 11:30 p.m., all tonight about fourth stimulus. Let's turn to the big surprise that no one saw coming, and boy, it keeps on getting better. That big surprise is student loan debt forgiveness. The president has now forgiven more student loan debt and could forgive more student loan debt this week as well. What is at issue? Let's go over all that starting right now. The student loan debt started with the president forgiving money for students who became disabled after graduation about a month ago. Well, in the last few days, the president forgave some more debt. First, he forgave debt for individuals who went to work in the nonprofit sector for 10 years after graduation. Incredible, great news. And then the president forgave money, debts, student loan debts, for people who went into the public sector for 10 years after graduation. This might be you. Public school teacher, sanitation driver, working at the public library. This may be you. How much money? 10 years of it. And one viewer found out the details live on air. During the countdown show on mornings, the viewer was on the live chat and said, after graduation, LA, I've been working for 20 years at the federal prisons. Do you mean my debts are forgiven? Yes, sir. Your debts are forgiven. The viewer found it out for the first time while watching the video. Absolutely inspiring. Everyone who's a federal, state, city, or county employee for 10 years after graduation, your debts are forgiven. Meantime, the president could forgive upwards of $10,000 of other debts for everyone in the next few days. The president said he'll do it. So I would hope the Democrats just sign on to it. They want to do $50,000, but I wouldn't hold out for the $50,000. I would just take the $10,000 now and then examine the situation about raising the money thereafter. Then they're back. Congress is back in session for 3 weeks. And in the next 3 weeks, recon, infrastructure, and debt ceiling limit. They can get them done, and they can possibly get them done even easier because of a possible deal. We're first going to examine the possible deal of Joe Manchin that was unearthed on this channel last Saturday. You didn't hear it anywhere in broadcast media because it was only covered here in one print outlet. But then on Evenings LA, you're going to hear something totally new that was not on Afternoons LA, which is a potential clean energy and carbon tax deal as a backup. And then you're going to hear about a possible meeting going on right now. Let's turn to that meeting right now. There is rumors that there's a potential evening dinner between Chuck Schumer, Joe Manchin, and Bernie Sanders. What do you think they'll be eating? What do you think that food fight? What do you think they'll be eating? The reason why they're having that meeting is to discuss getting the recon done. Let's turn to the first possible deal that this channel revealed over the weekend. The first possible deal, I think, is the best one of the three. It was created by the president and his administration. What did they do? They took apart the recon. They looked at the package. They looked at the 3 clusters passed, and they found one cluster that has been passed with one big check, and they said, let's modify the language so that the big industries in Joe Manchin's state of West Virginia could qualify to get the money. Wow, what a simple idea. It just makes so much sense. When you look at that provision, they're not taking it out. They're just changing the language so that the biggest constituents, the biggest voter base, the biggest industries for Joe Manchin states would get potential billions of dollars. Let's go over the details, how it's explained. The changes to the language of that cluster would make it easier for the coal and natural gas power plants in Joe Manchin's home state of West Virginia to be qualified for potential billions of dollars, including his biggest fossil fuel producers in his state. Wow. This just seems sort of like an obvious solution. Give your biggest constituents the biggest cut of one of the provisions, and the way we go. Manchin reportedly liked the idea. Why would you not? Now, there is 2 backup plans that were revealed today. And this first backup plan you heard early in this video, it's the clean energy. One of the sections of the third cluster is about clean energy. It has a lot of checks in this third cluster passed about clean energy. One of the checks in there, Joe Manchin doesn't like. He says, take it out. So take it out. And in taking it out, that's what he wants. And it gives him what he wants. Guess what? It gives us what we want. Because where does that money go? To Purple Power Energy. It can be reallocated to other programs, and those other programs are our programs. There you go. But there's a third option working its way around the block tonight as well. And that third option is the carbon tax. Carbon tax is particularly liked by Joe Manchin, but the way you do the carbon tax has a lot of benefits to it. One, because there's a lot of ways that you can structure it in a different way so that people particularly like it that are involved with the legislation. Taxes are always sort of a sticking point, and they're always sort of a tight walk, a difficult walk, but this could solve the clean electricity proposal that has had other parts of the recon at issue. Reaction tonight. Tina Smith says, we need to get on to the emissions. Then we have Brian Schatz, who I featured during the summer on this channel. He says, we have a trifecta with the House, Senate, and the presidency all being Democrat. We need to get things done right now. Don't wait. And then we have a great comment that came from Mark Warner, who is from Virginia, who says, you need to get some points on board. And then Representative Debbie Wasserman Schultz from Florida says, don't let perfect be the enemy of good. Wow, there you go. And now let's turn to how they get this recon finished. Well, we got 3 provisions that the moderate Democrats have now told us they want. This is really good news. I'm really happy because about a week ago where Bernie Sanders said moderate Democrats aren't telling us what they want. Now they're telling us very clearly what they want. We have Kristen Sinema, who wants the prescription medication language changed. Easy. That's not a brainer. And you know what? In the last week, I've heard nothing about this, so I don't think they're having a problem with it. I think they can get this done, and the prescription medication language was sort of controversial, needless to say. It needed to get modified. Then they have to reduce the price tag of the recon from 3.5 to 2 trillion. Easy. I'm going to show you that in a second. Jayapal likes how I'm doing. I like how I'm doing it, and Pelosi likes how it's being done. We're all doing it the same way, so we're all on the same board. Finally, climate needs to be modified. So that is a Joe Manchin issue. Joe Manchin has certain climate issues he wants to get modified. Just modify them, and away we go. Let's go over how we get that 3 trillion down to 2 trillion. It's very simple. And it goes back to the month of July when I delivered a lot of reports on this channel where I said, I'm speculating about the date. I'm speculating about the time. Now it returns that those speculations were actually world exclusives. Back in July, I said that the recon proposed at 7 trillion may have been 20-year programs. Now we have confirmation they were 20-year programs. Then when Bernie said he shortened the duration of the programs to get to 3.5 trillion, I speculated he shortened them to 10-year programs. We now have confirmation from Jayapal that my reporting and speculation was actually a world exclusive, that they did have in this $3.5 trillion recon all 10-year programs. So 2 weeks ago, I said the way they get this done is obvious. Shorten the duration of the programs again. Do them at 5 years, and we're done. The reason why they're 20 years was the president wanted them to run multiple generations. No one would have it. The reason why they're 10 years is they're trying to get them as long as possible. But there's a real sense of urgency right now. You and me both agree upon the same subject matter, which is big checks right now, right here, this year and next year, and potentially the year after that. We don't need to be focusing about 8 years from now. We don't need to be focusing on 9 years from now. We need to be focused on big checks, the full amount of the programs, the full payout right now. And that's what Jayapal says. And guess who also said that? Pelosi. So let's go over all the incredible comments. Then we'll be cutting back to climate because, boy, this is a big issue as well, and we could have a solution. First, Bernie. Bernie said about a week ago, we need to hear what the opponents don't like. Now they're telling us, so that's really good news. Then Pelosi has become a big advocate for your recon, saying over the weekend, the recon will get done because it must get done. Oh, boy. Then Pelosi's laser focus on really where the last thing needs to be fixed. Climate. Climate is not sun, sky, breeze. Climate is coal, natural gas, clean energy. And she says central to the recon is the climate part of this legislation. Yes, because that's the last holdout where Joe Manchin wants certain words changed. Very simple. Then we have Alex Padilla says climate, no climate, no deal, meaning got to get the climate done the right way. Then Bob Casey said, he's always hysterical. He says, people keep walking up and say, this sounds wonderful. Why haven't you done this before? He says, yeah, we haven't done this in 40 years. That's why it sounds so good. And then Jayalapal with the game-winning home run quote, always with the best quote of the entire night, is Jayalapal, who basically says, big checks, immediate checks, don't focus on 10 years. We rather reduce the number of years in the program because the universality of the benefits and the immediacy of the benefits are absolutely more critical. It's more important to us than having the entire 10 years. Bigger checks, faster checks, more important than 10 years. Very, very simple. And she says, we're very happy that the Speaker Pelosi, said something similar to this in her press conference today. There you go. So 3 battlegrounds, prescription medication, change the language for Kristen Sinema. I think they've done this. I haven't heard anything about it for 10 days, and it wasn't something that was perfect and needed to get modified anyway. Reducing the recon from $3 trillion to $2 trillion, easy. Just do 5 years, folks. That's almost like 1.9. I mean, it's not even $2 trillion. It's easy. And number 3, the climate. Take the provisions out that he doesn't like, and you're done. And we're done. And away we go. What's more important to understand is the moderate Democrats are not opposed to any of the social programs. They were just opposed to the package being too big and running for too many years. And certainly they were opposed to the climate and the prescription medication. There we go. Now, can we top that? Oh, we can. We got the big exciting news of that COLA raise. And guess what? The COLA raise is not the only raise you're getting if you are on benefits. And that COLA raise is 5 to 6% over the next few weeks. But guess what? We're just getting started because you're going to get 2 other raises after that. What's going on? I'm going to go over all those details right now as the excitement continues. When you look at COLA, COLA will be raising your benefits up 5 to 6% in the next few weeks. This is law. But this stimulus comes in right after that. If they get it done, you would get 2 more raises after that. Let's go over the analysis. It's different than forced stimulus, so let's separate forced stimulus from this. First, they're going to raise your benefits up. If you're on SSI, SSDI, Social Security, Railroad benefits, if you're on COLA, then they do fifth stimulus. Fifth stimulus hopefully gets to a law maybe February. That means that your benefits would be raised 1 additional time if you're on SSI, SSDI, Social Security, and Railroad benefits. But we're not done with the lifts there. They got a 3rd lift. That's the next time they apply the benchmark. What would be the new benchmark? Inflation. And when do they apply that benchmark? Next December or November 2022. Replacing COLA. Yeah, COLA's 6% now, but COLA could be 0 next year, and inflation's not going to be 0. It's going to be at least 3%. So that means you'll get 1 lift up from COLA, another lift up when fifth stimulus becomes law, and a 3rd lift up after that when they apply the next benchmark. Wow. There you go. That is the exciting details of fifth stimulus, but now let's turn to something even better, which is the big money coming out from 3rd stimulus right now. Viewers are getting upwards of $36,000 last week. Viewers are going every week with more money across the board. I'm going to show you how to get this big sums of money right now. Get that pen, paper ready when you get some money for rent, utilities, food, internet, mortgage assistance, money for clothing, money for appliances. And if you've gotten this money before, you can get it again. Get that pen, paper ready. First, we're going to start with rent. I'm going to show you 6 places to reach out to. Reach out to all 6 places. They have different eligibility. They have different pots of money. If one says no, reach out to the next. And also listen to the keywords I say in this video. Finally, get ready for those nonprofits because they are deliciousness. All right, here are the items for rent. You reach out to the following six places: your city hall, your city house authority; your county hall, your county house authority; your state hall, and the state house authority. And the keywords you say are rent assistance because of COVID, mortgage or utility assistance because of COVID. There you go. And then here's the amount of money they're getting. Wow. Viewers are getting now anywhere from $20,000 all the way up to $40,000 for rent. Mark last week got an additional $36,000 of rent, bringing Mark's grand total for rent to over $60,000. Get utilities. If you got 5 utility companies, reach out to all 5. Mark's brother-in-law got $15,000 for utilities. Then SNAP. What are you doing? You need to get some SNAP. SNAP is money for food. You get it from Department of Agriculture, and yes, it's deliciousness. Average benefits are going up an average of 25% lifetime automatically nationwide. Starting this month, Mark's brother-in-law is going from $21,000 to $26,000 a year. Then get multiple items, combo items. Look at my combo people. There's Nancy at 3 items at $32,000. There is Mark now at $90,000 because he got $36,000 on top of that. Here's Lorraine, who was at $105,000. She's going to $110,000. Then let's lean on the nonprofits. The great news about the nonprofits is that they do different eligibility, but the same items generally as third stimulus. So if you reached out to 6 places, you absolutely found the money, but they said you're not qualified for it, then lean on the nonprofits. Here they are: United Way, Salvation Army, Community Action, Catholic Charities, and St. Vincent de Paul. They pay for the same items, but with different eligibility. But they also pay for other items that are not in third stimulus. For example, homeless people in a shelter. Then money for clothing if you can't afford it. They have a common theme: not allowing you to freeze to death during the winter and not allowing you to burn up to hell during the summer. So they want to keep you comfortable. In the summer, they give you fans. In the fall, they give you portable furnaces or portable space heaters. They also provide help for nominal things to make sure your home is secure, like a broken window one viewer got fixed. There you go. Here again are the 5 nonprofits. They also give clothing, blankets, and the holiday gifts from Salvation Army, starting to run out in some places. I've been covering that since September. I told you it was in October. Starting to almost run its course. I said maybe by the middle to late October it's gone. Some places over, some places are doing still holiday meals. Here again are the 5 nonprofits: United Way, Salvation Army, Community Action, Catholic Charities, and St. Vincent de Paul. Next, the unemployment benefits. Yes, from your state due to overpayment. Yes, go get it. Average payment is about $3,000 to $5,000 for viewers of this channel. And then the refund check from IRS. This is where you where you pay taxes on the unemployment benefits. The payment is anywhere from $1,000 to $2,500. Mark got it, Cod got it, Michael got it. You can track it on irs.gov. If you got in any sums of money, post in the live chat right now because you inspire other people. Finally, if you haven't become a member, what are you doing? When forced stimulus becomes law, I'm going to show you how to get the big sums of money from all these programs one at a time. You want to know how to get the home repairs? I'll show you. You want to know how to get the cheaper prescription medication? I'll show you. All these programs are covered on this channel. For now, I'm also covering third stimulus. And the third stimulus, when it became law, people were focused on the $1,400 stimulus check elsewhere, not here. I said, don't focus on $1,400. I can get you $15,000 on the third stimulus. Average viewer of this channel has gotten $40,000 from third stimulus. Become a member, Purple Hawk, Purple Power, Casino VIP, the link is under the video, and get delivered to you the newsletter Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, about 2 hours after the show, delivered from the YouTube alert system and the Lalate members alert system, which is totally free also as well. It's in the description. It's at news.lalate.com/alerts. In the newsletter, I write all the details of the big money available under first, second, third stimulus for you to get. The $13 billion from Treasury sent out to your city, counties, and states, read that before you reach out to them for the rent. The nonprofits, so you can lean on the nonprofits and get those big sums of money. Understand there's a lot of money for you to get today. As Mark started last week at 0, end of the week at $36,000. The week before that, Prina started at 0, and he had $6,000. If you've got a success story as well for anything like rent or utility, send it to me on private message. Finally, let's go into my opinion of the situation on what they should be doing and not doing when going over this recon in these next 3 weeks. Here's my opinion of the situation, which there's a number one guy in the equation who I really cover in this channel. His name is John Kerry. He's the former senator, and now he's the environment czar, or the clean energy czar, the climate czar. in the Biden administration. My situation of this, my opinion of the situation is the following. You have a recon, and it has a lot of stuff in there. And you started 20 years, too large, should not have been 20 years. 10 years is fine. I mean, 10 years is fine. But now you're shrinking to 5 years. Done. Moderate Democrats are fine with a recon that's at $2 trillion or 1.9. Done. They're fine with the provisions of social reform in there and the money for you. They're done. They want, Kristen Sinema wants the prescription medication language changed. Change it. It's not a particularly popular provision anyway. Change it. Done. And then Joe Manchin wants a certain series of languages about climate out of it. My opinion of the situation, remove it. I'm not against climate reform. I'm not about reducing carbon emissions. I'm not about fixing climate issues. But in 2021, I am. They should be done in 2022. They should be done as the 7th stimulus package or the 6th stimulus package. We are sitting here, and 5th stimulus coming up next for SSI and SSDI and Social Security is the next most important thing. And then after that, get to climate. The climate's not going to change between October and February of next year. I mean, who are we kidding? You could pass 20 bills between now and February. The climate's not going to change. But what will change is you and your bills. You need money. And we really haven't had a time, I can recall on this channel, where Pelosi, myself, and Jalapal are all in the same Vulcan mind melt. They all say big money, big payments, immediate payments to the American people. Let's hear those words again. To the American people. Those 4 key words. Climate doesn't go to you. Climate goes to fix the environment. And what's an urgency right now is not how the air is outside. The air can be fixed in February. It's the thick of winter. We need to fix your wallets now. And that urgency is upon us. That's why Jalapal said it. Big checks right now. There's an urgency and immediacy that needs to be addressed for the American people. And if I look at a recon and I got all these other things fixed, all these other things solved, and the only remaining unsolved issue is Joe Manchin and climate, then take the climate out. Do it with your recon next year. I don't need to pull up the graphic. I've shown you the graphic how Chuck Schumer saved a lot of recons. He has like 2 or 3 more recons to use next year. And you're still in control of 3 bodies of Congress, House, Senate, and presidency. If you think you can get the climate done by recon, then do it next year. If you could never get the climate done by recon, then why are you doing it? But if you can get the recon done by climate, do it next year. These items, everyone's agreeing to do it. Joe Manchin's agreeing to do it. Kristen Sinema, Bernie Sanders, everyone's agreeing to do it. Take out the provision that doesn't work. Yeah, I've shown you in this recording 1, 2, 3 backups to fix climate. But ultimately, if you can't fix it with the 3 backups, then take the provision out and get the rest done. It's as simple as that. And that's my opinion of the situation. I think this would be an easy breezy, quick vote. We all know how to get this recon done. And I think that's where we are. And with that, join me next with Evening's Countdown, which this video will automatically take you through. Then we got Extended Stream Stimulus. It's almost 45 minutes tonight. Then Sirloin at 8 o'clock. I'm really excited for you because now we have shows about 4 stimulus at 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 11:30, 3 a.m., 3:30, and then at 4 a.m. with early mornings like when I return. So with that, subscribe. 400,000 subscribers for YouTube record. I want you part of this incredible family. Hit that subscribe button right now. Like the video, 2,000-3,000 likes. Keep on smiling. Keep on staying informed. Don't stop the advocacy. Even though I may not cover advocacy in a particular video, always advocate until we are over the finish line. Remember, it's important to stay informed. It's important to know all the nuances of everything that is being worked on. And it's important to stay positive. Stay informed, stay smiling, and stay here. And I'll see you next on Evening's Countdown.